Hi guys, so today I'm going to show you how to make honey oat bread. This is a really great and easy recipe, and unlike most basic bread recipes, this holds up really well with toast, grilled cheese, French toast, and even sandwiches. So to start off, you'll need 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 1/4 teaspoon of instant yeast, 1 cup of old-fashioned rolled oats, and you'll need 1 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 4 tablespoons of melted butter, 3 tablespoons of honey, and finally you'll need about 1 cup of lukewarm water. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start mixing our ingredients into the KitchenAid bowl. And the great thing about this recipe is that you literally take all the ingredients and you just mix them right into the bowl in no real specific order. But I'm going to go ahead and start with our lukewarm water. This is 1 cup of lukewarm water. And I typically like to add the yeast in next. And then we can go ahead with the butter. This is the 4 tablespoons of melted butter. And then we can add the honey. And we'll add our salt. And we're doing 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. So here I have my 1/2 teaspoon measuring spoon. So I'll do that 3 times. And then we have our 3 tablespoons of honey. So we'll add that in. Okay. And then we'll start with adding a little bit of flour in. I like to gradually add the flour just so that everything gets mixed in. Okay, and it's looking pretty good, so I'll go ahead and add the last little bit of flour. And we'll let that mix in. Okay, so it's getting mixed in. And so at this point, what I'd like to do is, as you can see, some of it's all mixed together, but then you have some at the bottom that's just not getting there. Okay. So what I like to do is just kind of scrape everything and get it all joined together, especially the bottom part, and then let it start back mixing. Okay, so it's about all done at this point. And so what I'm gonna do is I'll turn it off and then I'll let it sit for about 20 minutes just to give the oats a chance to, you know, mix in and absorb the liquids from the bread. So I'll let that sit for about 20 minutes and then I'll come back and show you our next steps. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and, after letting the oats soak in the liquids, I'm going to go ahead and knead for about 2 minutes. And that's just so it can get nice and soft and elasticy. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and put it in our greased bowl, and we're going to cover the bowl and let the dough rise for about an hour and a half, and I'll come back when I'm done with that. Okay, so here we have the dough. It's been rising for about an hour and a half, and as you can see, it's definitely risen. It's like double. So we'll go ahead and deflate it. Just like that, and I'm gonna get it ready to put in the pan for a second rising. And here I have my 9.5-inch pan, bread pan. And I've oiled it. And I'll go ahead and place the bread into the pan. And then I'll brush the top with the rest of the oil. And then this actually goes back for a second rise. And we'll let it rise and then we'll come back. Okay, so I'm back. We've done the second rising, and as we can see, it's risen over the top of the rim of the pan. So what we do from here is preheat your oven to 350, and then you bake this for about 30 minutes, and you just check it. And so once it's in and baked, we'll be back. Okay, so the bread is out of the oven. I cooked it for about 35, 40 minutes. As you can see, this part is kind of broke off, but that's okay. So what I do after I take it out, I let it cool a little bit, and then I brush it with some melted butter just to soften up the crust. And then I take it out of the pan. And because we oiled our pan, it comes right out, just awesome. And you see the bottom is like perfectly browned and just looks really good. Okay, so now that the bread is out and it's cooled a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and slice it up just to show you guys what the bread looks like when it's sliced. Okay. Okay, so I'm not the best cutter of bread, and I like for my slices to be just even. So I have a bread slicer that I got off of Amazon for like $20, and it's really, really, really awesome. So I'm just gonna show you guys how I cut the bread. And I'll cut a few slices. So the first few, as you can see, are kind of like falling apart. That's okay, only because it's like the end of the loaf. And as we get more to the center, we'll have better slices. And then it's still super hot, guys, so I could actually leave the slices, leave the bread to cool a little bit more. But as you can see, once it completely cools, like, I don't know if you can see the steam coming from it, but it's still really kind of warm. So once it cools completely, and as I'm cutting it, the slices will be more compact. So I just basically let it sit here and just cool, and then I come and slice it as I need it. Another thing you can do, if you maybe made multiple loaves or you're not going to use it as soon as you bake it, you can actually, once it's cooled down completely, you can just wrap it in some maybe saran wrap, plastic wrap in a Ziploc bag and freeze it. And that's really good. It can last like in the freezer for a really long time. And that is it. That is my tutorial on making honey oat bread. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you have any questions or comments, just ask away.